Microphone on. Welcome everybody. How is everyone today? Who do we have in the chat? Let's have a look. Christopher Hall, Luke, why does your picture look like you've just been told it's salad for tea, not fajitas, like you promised? I actually had fajitas last night. I ate fajitas last night. They were good. I hope that I don't have a salad today. I think I have... I don't even know. Don't even know what I'm going to cook tonight. I will decide later on. Who else do we have in here? Killzil Grinder, P is here, Sweeping Hawk, Houston, Crypto K, MS, Michael, Delirium, Tonster, Bobby. That's all the names that I can see right now. And Mark, and I'll just say, and Alfie. Okay, hi everybody. How are we all doing? I hope everyone is very well. Cool. So we just had a little bit of volatility because of the just the advanced GDP announcements and the European Central Bank rates. So that's why we see the Darth Maul candle. It's fairly typical. I haven't really been paying attention to the news this week because it wasn't really that kind of week where we're likely to see a big move because we've already had a big move. So in terms of the news and everything, the fact that we got that big move a couple of days ago, and there's not really a whole lot of news for the market to be watching right now. So this just gave us a little bit of volatility. I was thinking because it's quite positive, the outlook, like advanced GDP is up quite significantly for the US. So that is why we are seeing at least initially a bullish move to the upside. And that is mirrored if you go over onto the S&P. Okay, markets have reacted quite well to it. So what we've had in the S&P is a quite a nicer correction over the last couple of sessions, going into Asia, taking out some local lows, and then getting a good bounce into our point of control for today. So yeah, so far on legacy markets, you are seeing that as being, yeah, we haven't moved down, take some liquidity, the news pops out, and we get a bit of a move up. So we'll see where things are at when we go into the open. Where are we likely to open? So we're probably going to gap up slightly. That's okay. Yeah, so moving up into the open and then see what happens from that point. But what we can do today, we'll go over some of the I don't know. We'll have a look. Let's actually start with the DXY because I do want to cover this. So this is basically at this stage, I'm considering this enough of a change of market structure with there being likely to be a bounce. Like you can see here, when we came down, it's not a lower low considering that this low down here and this low down here are quite a long way off. So from the dollar, we have had quite a nice corrective move. This is coming down into the 1-to-1. If you take your high to your low to your high, and actually we could probably move it up onto this one and then it gets it a little bit closer, I guess. So yeah, nice corrective move from the dollar. We are getting a bounce back from that today. That would make sense. And you would say that this has slightly broken market structure back towards the upside again here. So I do think that although assets are looking fairly strong at the moment, so the S&P is looking pretty good overall, Bitcoin's looking pretty good overall, I do think that we're likely to see a bit of a move up from the dollar, and we are in pretty major, we're looking at pretty major support here for the DXY itself. So I guess that's that. I've actually just noticed this. Thank you for Delirium for pointing out. This has been on my there. So there's another level of confluence, right? So you do have that little block, the weekly level here. I don't know which one you'd take it as. Like I'd go for this as the weekly. So if this is the one that everyone's got marked up as high time frame levels, I would go for that one because that's the one that's looking nice and blocky. That's the one that's looking like it makes sense as not necessarily an order block because the one down here is a bit cleaner. So then if we were to get a move down, then of course you know where you have stuff to the downside as well. But yeah, this is looking looking good. You've got good confidence for a bounce here from the DXY. Going back over to Bitcoin, I did the update yesterday, so hopefully everybody at this stage has watched the update video I did. And where we are is, again, fairly significant, right? Okay, we had the daily naked point of control at 20,800, 20,750. I don't know if I've removed this from my chart. I did a lot of cleaning up again yesterday, just removing some stuff to keep it nice and simple. But if you are looking at this local range coming into the golden pocket here, getting a slight rejection off of that, we do have the range value area high that I'm looking at 21,600 if we are going to continue to make a move higher. And I do think if we can sustain this range over the next couple of days, then what we'll probably find over the weekend is this starts to float up. And then I'd be looking basically for up here, and then you can come down and grab stuff once people start to actually get like properly bullish. So start like flagging and sloping upwards. Then we can come and rinse all those stops out later on next week. So that is, yeah, my thoughts on Bitcoin. I haven't really prepared anything again for this stream today, so I'm just going to look at the chat. I've got a nice cup of tea. I'm being British today. I haven't got my coffee. I've got a nice cup of tea, which is quite hot, so oh man, it's quite hot, and I'm trying not to make slurpy noises when I drink it. Night, Luke calling bottoms. Hey, well, we did the last time, well, I mean, not the last time, but the last couple of times I've done a stream, we have gone aping into some good long positions that have really paid off now, so very happy with that. And we did this one live. We took this short live, we took this long live, so very happy. No, definitely not Tetley tea. No, thank you. It's a nice Assam blend. So those of you tea connoisseurs out there, I've got a nice Assam blend, and I'm using oat milk. I've actually got quite fond of oat milk. I sound like proper proper hipster, or whatever the word is for it now. I've got an Assam tea with some oat milk in it. I'm probably going to get killed for this in the chat now, but yeah, that's it. I am English. Tea has to have milk, but I don't like cow's milk. Why do I always do this on the stream? I always make myself look like a fool. I am a fool, but I always make myself look even worse. Shiva, yeah, we have loads of milks over here. We've got oat milk. I like oat milk on my tea and my coffee, but it's got to be like a nice creamy oat milk. It's got to be like a barrister blend. It's got to be good. Oat milk on teas and coffee. I like coconut milk in my cereal. If I have cereal, I don't have it that often, but coconut milk's good. We've got, oh, there's all sorts, but yeah. Back to the charts. Why am I doing this? I don't have much to talk about. Let's find something to talk about that we can. Okay, I'm going to go back over Bitcoin because I don't think I explained it very clearly. I don't think I explained it. Oh, the almond milk's horrible. Yeah, my parents drink almond milk. It's not very nice. Okay. Sweetened oat milk with porridge is good. I like a porridge with some banana and some blueberries. And oh man, I'm distracted. Can we please ask me about charts? I get too distracted. Back to Bitcoin. This is my plan. This is basically my plan as I see things at the moment. So with Bitcoin right now, I am hedged into a short position, and I took that short from the NPOC yesterday. So those of you who don't know, there's the NPOC. This is what we've been literally waiting 6 weeks for it to hit. And it was between 20,750 up to 21k that I had limit orders to go short. Okay, so from this, I basically, here within this whole zone, okay, 20,750 up to 21k, that was your 618. Okay, your 0.618. So within here, I have gone short. My portfolio, my spot holdings that are on exchange have been hedged. And by that, I basically mean, because we did get a couple of questions on this, I have moved around about 30% of my spot holdings on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't know the exact number. I just was like, I want to just reduce some risk here, some spot risk, and just settle that settle my exchange holdings down a bit, and give myself a bit more room to think about what's going to happen next. So I've moved about 30% of my spot holdings that are on the exchange into a derivatives, and I've gone 1x short on that amount. So I am short from, my average is around like 20,800, and where is it? Let me have a look. I can tell you where my average is. My average is 20,830. Okay, so I'm in a 1x short. It's actually a 1.2x short. Because I think I must have averaged in a bit more than I calculated. But yeah, I'm on a 1.2x short from 20,830 on a portion of my spot holdings that are on exchange. So that's me hedged. I haven't taken profit on that yet. I'm just looking to hold that for now. I have taken a long today, and I'm probably just going to hold that into the open, because I did take the long from the previous day value area low that we got earlier on. We also had a nice little 5-minute OB down here. And if you look on the session volume profile on TradingView, okay, everything was lining up really well. So I do like it when this happens. We can actually move that down because that's closer to my entry. It's just on EXO it was different. So we hit the previous day POC, we got the rejection. It would make sense, knowing that these previous day levels are important, that we would move down to the value area low and we would test that. And what we also had within there was very simply, okay, it was coming down into basically a 786 down here, okay? So within this zone, that's where I would be looking for new longs. So that is the long that I've taken. Whilst the rest of my portfolio is kind of hedged in that short at the moment. So what I see happening now, as we're still going over this, I would like, ideally for myself, is to still take the highs. I still think we're looking at bullish market structure. I would like to see this just float up over the weekend and start to build stops. And then that starts to generate liquidity to the downside. What would be like amazing from this is you come up towards the range value area high and you start to put in a little bit of a wedge here. Okay, and then we can look at this maybe as we come into Monday, rolling over, and then we break down and come down to 20k, which is, again, we've got MPOCs down there, we've got other stuff down there to be looking at. So I do still think that this market structure is going to maintain itself. I am still expecting highs to be taken. I'm long from the low. I'm happy to hold that hedged short position in case it rolls over, because if it does roll over, we're already really overextended on the whole move anyway. But we could be looking at this as being like a bit of an extension into what we've seen so far. So if you are looking at this in terms of like, I don't know, like maybe Elliott wave or something, there's a couple of ways in which you could count that, with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this fifth being a bit of a range up at the highs that we're looking at a redistribution. Or is this the impulse? And again, you're looking at this as being still kind of extending a little bit higher here. So various ways that you can look at it. I'm still looking for a little bit more upside before, just to generate enough liquidity to dump it back down again. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin, and it's very, very similar with Ethereum. Okay, so with ETH, we have broken out of our macro downtrend. We haven't broken out of it. That's nonsense. But if you go from like where the all-time highs were, and we're just tracing this down, in fact, that isn't quite on the wick. So let's get that perfect. And that is as close as you can possibly be. Oh, Come on, there we go. So that is as close as we can possibly be. You can see exactly where we are. We are in the 618 of this move down to here. We came into the 1-to-1. We've had a decent bounce off of this. And again, I am short on Ethereum, looking for a little bit lower. However, I do still feel that this will... It's very unlikely that as soon as it hits into the levels that you're just going to get that short position and then it pays you straight away. I'm very happy to add to this higher up and look at that rolling over, and then we can look back down again early next week or something. So it's a similar stance on both Bitcoin and on Ethereum at the moment. So scalping longs, because that's where the market structure is, still holding like a shit ton of spot because I bought, like, I really did ape in on those lows. So I'm still holding a ton of spot positions, not really doing anything with those apart from just settling the portfolio down. Jock, so what will happen in essence being 1x short with that balance, and if it goes up, what will happen? So what being short... So the short position for myself, this is taken on inverse. So it's on the inverse perpetual. And I am slightly over a 1x on this, but if I do take profit on here at some point, I'll get it back down to 1x, or I'll just put some more spot in to hedge that. So what you do by hedging is it basically just keeps the dollar value the same. So if Bitcoin still continues higher, right? If Bitcoin continues higher up here, and remember, I'm only like 30% hedged at this point, I am very confident that at some stage in it, maybe it's this week, maybe it's next week, maybe it's the week after, but at some stage we are going to see prices significantly below this level again. Okay, we're looking at 20k, we're looking at basically 20,800 to 20,200 being important for myself. I do feel very confident that we're going to get a move back down to there at some stage. So if I were to just draw a box, then for me it makes complete sense. Like, protect my portfolio, allow it to go higher. I can still keep on selling as we go up, keep on selling, and then all I'll do is I'll just jump back into longs and buy back that that spot, or close that short position as we come back down into here. Now, if it doesn't happen, and if we start to really break through 21k, we can hold, and this starts to just look like it's being left behind, then I will be forced to close the hedge. And that just means I've lost some Bitcoin value, but my dollar value has remained the same. Meanwhile, I'm still probably riding long positions on the US dollar perpetual, and I still have plenty of spot left. So that's my strategy for it. This is what I like to do when we are just looking a little bit overextended here, which we are. Like, we clearly are overextended. We've been building these bearish divergences up at the highs. I feel very confident that we are going to get a move back down. It's just I don't know whether this is the high, or whether this is the high, or whether this is the high, or whether this is the high. And at some point you'll have all these stops below and it will just flush them. But yeah, for me it's just a very, very like relaxed method to trade it. Single prints and MPOCs, they're at 21,700. Yeah, so that's a little bit... What we do have to be aware that we have left behind points of control much lower. Okay, so we're looking at 19k, 19,275 as well. We do also have the single prints down there, 19,850, so that's within the area. I don't know yet if we're gonna... Well, statistically speaking, we probably have to come and deal with these at some point. Okay, we probably do have to find our way back down to 19k again. But that could happen, like, yeah, that could happen. That might be ages away. Like, I just don't know. We might end up at 34k. 34k. Maybe we will end up at 34k. But we might end up at 23k before we do start seeing a bigger move down. So yeah, I'm just playing it level to level at the moment. Still running off of this idea. So still thinking at some stage we make a move up towards here. Or at the very least up here. Should we do a bit more work? Should we talk possible scenarios? Before we open for the New York session, because I don't think we'll get too much going on during New York today. Oh no, I haven't lost my thing, have I? Oh, it's there, yeah. We'll talk possible scenarios. So I'll whiz through these. Eyes into crypto. What the sense of talking about scenario without seeing SPX? Just a question. Absolutely, you've got to put. Yeah. All of these will be S&P and DXY relatable. So I'm not going to say Bitcoin's going to do anything unless we have a reason to believe that the same thing or a similar situation is going to play out on legacy markets as well. But I don't really know where to start because there's so many different ways that you can analyze this. We've had a really decent uptrend. We've left behind inefficiencies below us, but I don't think we need to come back and deal with those just yet. All right. So I do still believe that we have had quite a significant break. I'm not seeing from, again, you can go over here. I hope everyone's following because this is probably just going to be all scatterbrained and all over the place. But we're not really seeing like greed coming in from the longs. You can still see where Delta is comparatively to where it has been. Okay, we're still fairly low here. We're still seeing negative funding quite often. We're still seeing open interest being quite significantly shorts that start to open in every little range that we start to put in. We do seem to be building these bullish divergences quite often, and that has been happening this whole move up so far. So I haven't really seen anything significant to suggest that that's going to change. So from that perspective, I'm still looking at this to continue floating up despite the fact that we're at resistance. So yes, over the next week or something like that, a move down to, let's say, 20,200 or let's say like 19,800, a move down here as a corrective move would be okay. But what I don't want to do is start getting caught up within these single prints, because the second you start to get caught within there, and if we start to let's just pull a fixed range, the second you start to get back in value area low, because the value area high here lines up with your single prints. So if we do get caught within that, then that becomes dangerous. But as long as we're not getting caught within that, as long as we are looking at this being just a corrective move down into this area, whether we go higher or not, then I do still think that we're going to be making our way up towards this high up here. Okay, so the importance of this high here was, again, it caught a lot of people off guard, right? So not myself, because I literally shorted this at the exact high. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see the shorts that were like at the exact high. I couldn't have got a better entry on that. So yeah, and we did that live. So, but the fact that it caught a lot of people off guard, I think this is going to be targeted. So I do think that we could form a trending move up towards there, which will take us along the lines of, okay, we still go level to level, we still do this type of thing. Maybe we float up, we come back down here, we put in a bit of a range, and then at some point we start to come back up and we do this, and then we start to build all of these stops, and that generates the liquidity, and then we can dump it back down maybe to 17k, maybe to 18k, maybe just back into the POC of the range, something along those kind of lines. So that overall is what I would be most expecting the market to do. Now we do have confluence with that as well. So we've been hanging around down here we'll go back over onto this chart. We've been hanging around down at these lows for ages. Okay, that is 3 weeks. No, sorry, 6 weeks that we've been accumulating potentially to take these highs. Okay, so if you're going to spend that much time down here, why wouldn't it go and attempt back up here? Unless you're seeing an immediate rejection from the MPOC, from the golden pocket, unless you see an immediate rejection from that. And if we were to see that rejection, we'd have already started collapsing, I would have thought. Okay, so by that I mean, like, you start to see a lot of people going long. You start to see longs getting trapped up in this range up here, which we haven't really had so far. And then you start to fall back down in similar ways to what we've seen in the past, where you have a little false breakout. Okay, all of these, to be honest, you have a false breakout, you start correcting, and then you just collapse. A false breakout, you start correcting, and you collapse. False breakout, collapse, collapse. Okay, we haven't really seen that on this occasion because, yeah, people are just so eager to short it, which is still seeing this hold quite nicely. Where am I going? We have confluence up there. Okay, so if we are going to go for those highs, just above there is again a really significant level. Okay, 23,400. So be aware, 23,400 really important. So we're not really seeing people very bullish right now. I think that we can get a move up at the very least to fill these single prints, which takes us up here. Okay, so 22k. And then if we're going to target the highs, as we come up into that, 23,400 will be the level that I would look to go for, like, mega shorts back down again. So let's say this is basically the strategy I'm playing. You come up here. Over time, I'm not saying this is going to happen immediately. We can range, we can do whatever. And then that's when you look for the shorts that can potentially dump us back down. If then you take out this and you start to hold here and you put in another range within this area, then again it starts to look likely that you're going to go up for the next levels above that as well. So those are the ones. Those are the levels I'm really looking at. It's really quite simple for me at the moment. Yeah. And yeah, there's loads of confluence at 23,400. I'm not going to go through all of it. Because I need to sort out my chart, but there is confluence there. That is something to be very, very aware of if we do get that move higher. Okay. I'm going to look back at the chat again. Lou, okay, let's just go over the S&P just based off of this scenario also here. Okay, so the SPX has had a break of market structure. That is clear. Okay, we've taken out major highs and it is holding just below, once again, still resistance. Okay, so this is a very, very similar thing to what we're seeing on Bitcoin. All right, you load in the session volume. We come into the MPOC. You reject, but we are holding above the range and we are still maintaining bullish market structure. So even just from this, and this is why, so who was it that said, eyes into crypto. This is why it's still very important to be aware of what is going on in the legacy markets to match up with your bias. But what we see here, we are still maintaining bullish market structure. We do still seem to be squeezing into an area, and I do think that could lead to a move higher. We're looking at like 3,950 as the next level above, basically, on the S&P. By the same fact, like the DXY getting a bit of a bounce at the moment, even if this comes down and you just get a double bottom, or you just start to make a higher low here before regaining this range or whatever it is, that's likely to lead to further upside across the rest of the markets. So everything is kind of lining up, right? Yes, we're at resistance. Yes, we have hit into major resistance. That is why I am hedged. But so far, it is looking okay that this can still go a bit higher before we look at a bigger correction. So, yeah. What? Why am I hearing myself? What? Why am I hearing myself? This has just started playing like... There's a window that's just started playing my stream in the background. There's barely any delay. That's really good. That's crazy. So the delay then was like literally like 2 seconds after I spoke. And the YouTube delay used to be... Like the lag I used to have on YouTube was about 20-30 seconds. But this is nice. YouTube sorted out the laggy problems. Lou, I've watched your updates for a while. I must say, today has been a really great update, especially your explanation on how you handle hedging. Thank you. I'm glad my random ramblings are helpful, as always. Delirium, when you start the bull run, you're going to leave stuff behind. Absolutely. I'm not saying that we're going to start the bull run, but I'm saying that this is the start of, or this has very real potential to be the start of at least a trend higher, and then we can come back and deal with this stuff. Once everyone starts to get bullish, if we come up to 23,400, like everyone's going to be bullish, calling for the end of the bear market. They're going to be like, oh my god, we've broken market structure, we're bullish again, because you will have done. Okay, if we come up here, it's a break of market structure, that is kind of bullish. But it doesn't mean that you can't come and dump all the way back down here again. You always expect a correction once you break structure. Every time you break structure, you expect a correction, whether it's to the upside or whether it's to the downside. What are your thoughts on... Wait, actually, let me just have a look. I'm going to go through the other ones here. So let me just catch up with the questions, and then we can go back to talking about random stuff and looking at altcoins and looking at whatever else we feel like looking at. So, Jock, I have another 2 questions. First, regarding Bybit, was there an update? As when I used to change isolated leverage, there were 2 options, now just 1. In Silico, if I cross is grey, that's isolated. You used to be able to choose when you were on the exchange whether you were going to be in hedge mode or not, and you used to be able to switch between those. Now it's something that's within settings and it's fixed, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but yeah, I don't really know. In Silico, of course, is grey, and that's I also haven't used in Silico for a while, so I can't answer this question. Sorry. I have difficulties taking statistics. Do you have any template, or can you share an example of how you do it? Many thanks. I'm not going to do that on this stream. I'm not going to talk about statistics on this stream because they're boring. Yeah. Statistics are really, really boring for me. They're really dull. But what I will say is we are doing a new feature within the crew. So this is for the crew membership only. Spoiler alert coming up. We are going to be adding a new feature that is going to be very much talking about statistics, statistic gathering. We're going to be working with, myself, with Randall, Luxury. They've been putting a lot of work together. Everyone has been putting some work together. We're still working on it, but there will be something soon where we are talking specifically about statistics, specificistics, that we're going to start to release. So there will be some content coming up with that very soon, but that will be crew only because that's advanced and it takes a lot of work to start talking about. And we don't want to be giving away proof of well, we don't want to be giving away too much on public streams, because if we tell everyone all of our trading strategies that have an 80-90% hit rate, then they're not going to work anymore if we start telling the whole world. So yeah. What are your thoughts on volume being low, this move up on the 4 hour? Yes, so volume has been low, but that is to be expected. There's not many people in the market, so that's the simple answer from me at the moment. When you look back at what we've had, if you look back at the last time we saw high volume, okay, everyone was watching, everyone was looking at the market. So this was CPI, this was CPI. No, sorry, this was FOMC, this was CPI. This week it took people by surprise. It took me by surprise. I did the London trading room on Tuesday morning, and I was like, oh yeah, price is pretty boring right now. I think we can float around at this level. I think as we go into Wednesday and Thursday and the week starts to pick up, that's when we can see some volatility. And then it just went boom, and it just went bang and started pumping. So it took me by surprise. And the reason why we're seeing lower volume is because I don't think there was much stepping in the way of it. I don't think there was that much participation in the move. So what you had there was just a lot of buying just coming in, and it was relatively easy. It wasn't having to chew through like massive sell walls. It wasn't having to do all of that. And you've got to remember, when you've got thin books, which is, we had really thin books on Tuesday, the move wasn't anticipated. Although I was long from here, the move at that very moment wasn't anticipated. Where am I going with this? Yeah, we had thin books. So if you've got thin books, that's going to be providing less volume to the market, because you don't have to push through as much. You're not having loads of people trying to short it. And the volume's actually, yeah, it's been relatively simple. It's just less participation. Whereas you have like a big move around here early on in the range with higher volume. That's because people are going to be loading up limit orders on either side. They're going to be holding things. So sometimes you can have higher volume and be holding a range because there's actually like aggressive moves going on. People are holding price, people are forcing price down, people are forcing price up, whereas this was just a bit of a whee, we're just going to pump, and we're not really going to have any resistance on the way up. Look at other questions. I don't know what questions I've got to. Why daily, weekly, and monthly open is an important area. So this is really easy to explain. Why do people think that? Why is it so important that you mark high time frame levels on a chart? Like just from the most simple basis, why is it important that high time frame levels are marked on a chart? I've got a video on this that explains it more. So if you do look on my video that is like high time frame levels, it's called that, I think, then this will explain it in more detail. But I just want to see what people's thoughts are. Why is it important, and why do they get a reaction? See what chat says. See if chat says anything. Why are high time frame levels such as the weekly, monthly, daily important? And why do they get a big reaction whenever we hit into them on any asset, like literally any asset? Come on, chat. No one's answering me. They become significant because the time it took to create them. Yeah. High time frame is where the big money's through. Self-fulfilling prophecy, though. Because everyone's looking at Jerome's got it closest. Yeah. I think Jerome's like got it. No matter who you are, and this is the reason why I personally use them and why they're so important, okay? A weekly, a monthly, a daily. Levels that every single trader will look at quite often. What is the easiest thing, like literally the easiest thing to mark off on a chart that anybody who is looking at a chart is going to do? It's like, oh look, that is a monthly high. That's something that I want to be aware of if we come up there. So if you're just charting stuff up, you look at where traders settle up on significant things, and it is just the easiest thing to mark out that's on a chart that is going to be on, like, if you can't mark high time frame levels, you're not a trader. And if you are a trader, you are going to be aware of high time frame levels because they're just that is just the foundation. That's where you start to build a chart and where you start to build confluence from. At least for myself, that's always like a starting point. So this is why they work so well, because like everyone is looking at them. I can mark a monthly there, and if let's say sometime next summer we come up to 45,509.5, it's going to get a reaction. I guarantee it. Okay, so if we do hit into that level, it will get a reaction of at least 1 or 2%, because it's such an easy level to mark, and everyone should be aware of it. It's why Bitcoin, before we started the bull run, spent about 4 weeks working on a yearly level before it could break through it. The same with Ethereum, spent ages working on like the yearly level. The other nice thing about it is it's time based. So the problem with wicks, so let's say if I mark a wick here, you don't know on what time frame that wick's going to be, because it's going to be there on a weekly chart, it's going to be there on a 4-hour chart, it's going to be there on an 8-hour chart. The level never changes. But what's really important about these higher time frame levels is it gives you a time factor. So let's go on here, that weekly level, okay, here, it's going to be significant if we come up into it, because it hasn't been tested yet. But you're not going to see the same thing, okay? On this, it's not really, oh, that's not so clear. On a daily level, you might trade through it, you might do that kind of thing as well. Okay, so that's yeah, that's for me is why it's important, and why these levels make sense. Yeah, similar to the golden pocket, similar to the 618. It's like, what else? What are the basics? All right, you come into the 618, you're going to be taking profit. You come into a point of control, you're gonna look for stuff at that level. Like, everything is, trading's really not rocket science. And I know a lot of people, I know there's a lot of like, okay, trading is rocket science. Trading is difficult. But understanding the levels that are going to get a reaction is really quite easy. But there's a very, very, very big difference between analyzing levels that are going to get a reaction and feeling confident that they're going to get a reaction, and actually trading those levels. Because trading then turns into psychology, and you're battling against yourself, and then you're worried about, oh, is my stop loss going to get hit? Because what happens as you come into one of these levels here, and let's say, okay, we're going to come up into here, you're looking for a scalp short, but it does this, and it starts to stop you out, and it starts trading around here, and it makes you a bit confused about what's going on. Yeah, that's the point where you fuck up. But actually, if you just literally go, okay, cool, I'm going to set a limit order there, I'm just going to wait, the chances are you're going to make money off of it. But it's then all the stuff in between opening a trade and closing it, that is where you fuck up. That's trading. For me, trading is like the moment between opening and closing a position. That's like the trade. The actual level itself is really quite easy. Well, for me anyway. It's honestly not rocket science to draw a fib. This is why, like, ranty, this is why, like, so many people, yeah, there's a massive difference between being an analyst and being a trader. And this is why in the crew, on these streams, I'm more analyzing, because that's what's fun, and that's what is just makes sense on the streams. Apart from when I'm doing the live trading stuff, which I do. I do live trading, and I do trading on stream. But we also do a lot of analysis, and they're two very different things. And that's why in the crew, we focus on trading. We're not analysts, we are traders. Oh my God. Where are we? What's going on? Nothing much is going on. I'm going to set alerts. Bing. You'd want to see this hold. So just doing the gap fill. I can move this one over here. That's where we're headed. Sorry, I completely got in, like, I started doing a, what do you call it? A random monologue of my thoughts of what's going on in my brain, and forgot that we had the open and that we are gapped up, so we're obviously going to move down and fill the gap. So we have liquidity below, so previous day lows are down here. I'm just going to go for the internal. Where could we be going? I like it down there. Set an alert here. And Jerome as well. So just seen on the chat again here. So this is something that I think a lot of people also get wrong. Wait. I'm going to watch this. I would look for a bounce here. I'm not saying that I would long it, but I would look for a bounce here. This is where you have, so I just remember this from earlier. There are shorts down there, so you want to see this holding. Otherwise, we're starting to look slightly dumpy. But you want to see this hold here. Do we have bullish divergence? No. S&P's just taken out previous daily. Yep. Cool. I'll go back to random conversation and talking about stuff soon. Just basically eyeing up if I want to take a trade anywhere here at the moment. But I don't. I don't want to take a trade here. I'm just chilled. I'm pretty chilled today because I've got that head short position and I've taken the scalp long, which has done its thing. So, yeah. Next gap, 3797.35. 3797.35. What am I doing? If we keep falling here, I will probably take profit on this scalp short. 3797.35. This little thing here. Nah. I mean, maybe. Maybe. Because that actually was on an open, wasn't it? We do have a little one down here. I never bothered marking that. But yeah, we do. There is a tiny little gap down there. Hadn't noticed that one. Goes back into Monday close, so Monday's always important. Hey Luke, quick question if that's okay. Even in your position, are you still always setting alerts and waiting for trades? Or is there always a trade to take even if it's on the 5.5 or 15? There's always a trade on, like, always. There's so many different ways to trade, and this is why the market moves. There is always a trade. There's never not a trade. But for myself, at least at the moment, whilst the market's not doing too much, I'm just taking the... That never played out, did it? That's why I say as soon as you lose that level, you're coming back down. How's the lows looking? I'm trying to do everything at once here. So you've potentially got this SFP of the local lows earlier, which was the bounce off of previous day value area low. There's a lot of selling into that. 1 minute. Come on. It's okay. I did take profit on my scalp long. I haven't done anything else to it since. So let's hope there's SFPs. Shit. Because that was over here, yeah. I forgot I even had a trade there. I forgot. Hey, let's hopefully there's SFPs. Also, yes, I am still in the short on Atom. I saw there was a question on that earlier, but I've already taken profit on this long, so if we do start just to fall, I just need to make sure I can close that. I don't really like the look of that low so much yet. It's okay. You've got some decent shorts there at the lows. I still think we might go a bit lower. I'm going to close that long. I wasn't far off of it. Overall, I've made money because of the one that broke, but I don't think we're going to get a move up here. I think we're likely to see price coming down below 20,300 maybe. Like yesterday's little low. We'll see. We'll see, but I do think... I can't think straight when I'm streaming. Do I give this time? What do we think? I gotta ask chat. Should I keep the long? Are we gonna give this some time to play out, or should I just cancel it and close out of it? I'm so undecided here because I forgot I still had this long position, and it's like price is literally right at it, like right at where I took the long earlier. Ah. I don't have all the screens up, so I'm not aware of what's going on. This is what makes it so difficult to trade on a stream. We're gonna give this time. We're gonna give this time. I will close. I wouldn't take a new long here, but this is what happens when you clean your chart up. I don't like what we're seeing. There's S&P. I really need all of my charts to make these decisions. A decent little bounce on the DXY. Okay, that's fine, but we have... No, we're okay. I'm keeping hold of this for now. If I do decide to close out of this long, like I say, this was the long from earlier at the previous day value area low. So if I do, okay, so we're just at it. I have taken profit because we had the session POC. That is problematic because there you've got some long positions. Set alerts, forget about it. There's no point watching this move right now. Delirium, Luke, why would we long this in crew if we long this? See, if we were doing a trading room here, this isn't one that I was necessarily planning on taking. I don't know. I don't know this move. Like this particular move, I'm just a bit like, whatever. We'll do whatever. There's enough confluence here for this to bounce. But I don't have enough on my chart. I was honestly expecting just to come on here and do a bit more analysis rather than actively trading this so much. So we'll allow it. If it comes back below, I'll take another look on Bitcoin. Oh yeah. Yeah, we did do that. We did. So if we are talking stats, there is a good to high probability that this bounces us. Just purely based off of statistically speaking, a good to high probability that we do get a bounce back up here, at least to VWAP, or at least to VWAP or daily point of control. They are the two that are important. I'll go for VWAP. Yeah, Stephen, it's not rocket science. It's taking the London lows. It's taking the London lows. That's all it is. Take the London lows during the New York session. You'll reverse generally. Do I include Jim Cramer in your stats because he's 100% accurate counter signal? No. I honestly don't know, like, yeah. I know who Jim Cramer is, but I don't pay any attention. AF, London session starts at 8 a.m. UK time. And, I mean, it's still ongoing, but we've had the New York Open now. But yeah, London is from 8 a.m. That's not going into any any of this stuff, which is like the pre-market, the pre-London, which I sometimes consider to be. But yeah, London's 8 a.m. UK. London low is not taken on the USD pair because we did have that scam wick earlier. Yeah, I know. This is why I don't trade, like, yeah. This is why I do not trade so much the inverse perpetual. I'm hedged on the inverse perpetual, but as a scalp, USDT pair. No volume on the USD pair. We can do that comparison again today if anyone wants to. I won't do the comparison. But you're running at about 8 times more volume on the USDT. Or last time I checked, it was around about 8 times. 8 times more volume on USDT pair than on the inverse pair. So you're going to get scam wicks, which makes it fun to scalp sometimes. But sometimes it makes it very, very frustrating. Because there's no liquidity there. Yeah. Like, just look at that. Like, that's just shit, right? That's not... Yeah. Here we go. Here's the, statistically speaking, you're going to come back up to the VWAP. A good to high probability. I just made that up. I didn't, but I know the percentages. There is a good chance that we do come up and hit this VWAP. And at this stage, when we do, I'm just going to close the rest of that long position because I completely forgot I had it. So if this was a new trade, if this was a fresh trade, this would be... No, actually, that's kind of the trade done. I'm going to just... I'm going to give this a minute to see if it can come any higher. But yeah, you're getting into take profit territory now on here. Nice. This is the second day in a row. This is the second day in a row that live I've like messed up but still made money. Which is good. So we did the New York trading room yesterday, and I accidentally compounded a long position instead of taking a new long position, and I messed up. Like I didn't really want to be doing that, but it worked out well. Like we went up and we took the highs again. So this was down here. Okay, so I completely fucked up yesterday. So this is the trade that I took on the New York trading room. So we were looking at two entries from this. So again, those of you non-crew, we were looking at previous day high, and we were looking at the order block that we had just below that, the 15-minute block here, or the 30-minute block, depending on how you're looking at that. 30-minute block. Okay, so we had the previous day high and the 30-minute OB. I wanted to take a scalp long off of this because I wasn't convinced that it would be enough to take out the highs. What I was looking for at that stage was to come back into the daily point of control, which at that point was up here. Okay, so we were looking at this as being like the move down and then to come back into the daily POC, which was around here somewhere. I think it was that high volume node that we came into. So I didn't really want to compound along that I'd already had. So yeah, but it worked out well. So I accidentally compounded, then we took the highs, and then it was all happy days, and then I was able to close out the position still. So very, very good. Very good. Chandeepa, yours and luxury session times are different. Wonder why? So they're not, right? This is the thing. As a trader, and what you choose to trade can be literally anything. Okay, it can be literally anything. You can set your session times to whatever it is that you want. For me personally, the session times are the session times. Okay, simple as that. When the bell opens for London Open, that is London Open. What I am also aware of, and this is why I do have crossovers, is that you're going to get movement into the open and you're going to get movement at the close of previous sessions. So the session time is the session time. So London Open is 8 AM London time. Fact. Okay, we all know that. But as a trader and what you choose to trade, you can shift that slightly to wherever your edge in the market is. So if you find that you've got more of an edge by taking in the hour pre-market and using that as your initial balance, or using that as something else, then fine. That's absolutely fine. That's you as a trader. but that's still, the session time is still the session time, but you're just choosing to trade based on where your edge is. So I know for certain that luxury likes to trade the hour prior to London opening, and for me that's a little bit of a different strategy, because my final hour of trading, or my hour leading up into something, is looking at either a movement in, so either being attracted to or repelling away from VWAP, and that plays a really important part of my trading. So if I do add on the hour before the time, so if I'm looking at this always happens every single trading time. The hour before, you will either attract back into or repel away from the VWAP. So look at this from the Asia session. You go to an hour before the London Open, 7 o'clock, you start to pull back into that VWAP, which then gives you a reason to be looking at. So then you have your VWAP close, you can see that becomes resistance, and then that becomes tradable. So for me, it's really important to have the session start at 8 rather than at 7, because then I'd miss this. Okay, so my personal strategy is for that. What you also get on other occasions here, look, okay, this is New York session yesterday, 1 hour before it closes, 8 o'clock PM. Okay, it closes at 9. 8 PM, what happens exactly an hour before? You pull back into that VWAP, and then that makes it really important for the next session, because you can see the VWAP closes, resistance, you drop. Okay, and then once you start to hold it, that becomes a good support and resistance level. You go on to here. What do you do on the last hour of trading? Everything recently has been attracting back into it. We haven't really had a case of repel away. Here's a case of repelling away. Okay, so this is London session yesterday. 1 hour before the London closes. So you're looking at 1:30. You're at VWAP already. So what is really important there is you look to repel away from it, and then you run it back the other way. And this is a huge fundamental part of my trading. What happens at the end of a session, or what happens on that transition between sessions. If you're at the VWAP, you'll repel away from it. If you're away from VWAP, you're going to retract back into it, and then you start to use that for your trading. It's like fundamental. So that's why I personally still use just standard session times, because it's fundamental to my own trading, and that is what gives me an edge over the market. But everyone's edge is different, so I'm not going to complain about anyone who chooses to. If you want to have your session times earlier and you grab that volatility, because often you have more volatility before a session opens, then absolutely fine. It's just a different way of visualizing things. Both are valid. How many likes are we at? Only 52 likes. Come on, guys. We got to get this up to 100 likes. And I am going to do, in the meantime, for anybody who is new to the channel, can we get a hype in the chat if anyone is new to the channel? Let's say hello. I want to see if we've got any new faces in here. And if you are new, please do go visit tauruscrypto.com. It is up there at the top. It's also in the chat, because Swooping Hawk and P have been posting all the links, so you can't miss it. If you are not subscribed to the channel already, please do make sure you're subscribed, because I mean, I'm not going to celebrate about hitting 7k subs. We're probably going to hit it during this stream. I hope we do hit it during this stream, but I'm not going to celebrate about 7k subs. Like, we need to be above 10k. This is still pathetic, right? It's too small. Everybody, go and invite your friends. Go tell everyone you know to come and watch, or come and subscribe to this channel. Watch the live streams, because we do things quite well here. We do things quite well here. We are pretty good at what we do. And I hope that it does bring value to people. So make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And when we hit 10k subs, if we can hit 10k subs soon, I'll do a giveaway of some description. Yeah. Josh, yeah. I know, it's a shame. It's a shame we're only here. But anyway, go to tauruscrypto.com. Anyone who is new and who hasn't done so already, if you do go onto this, what you'll see on the screen when you go there, we're doing a spin the wheel Halloween event. So this doesn't show up on the screen for myself. But if you do visit the website, you'll have a spin the wheel that pops up. And are we pumping? Yay! Look at that. We've hit the take profit. So yeah, you'll have the opportunity to win discounts to the crew, trials to the crew, ExoCharts memberships, and a raffle. And we're going to be drawing the raffle on Monday. I still need to announce what's going to be in the raffle. I still don't know what's going to be in the raffle, but it will include USDT prize. It will include so next Monday we're going to do a raffle on Halloween. There'll be crypto prizes. There'll be cash prizes. There'll be some NFTs thrown in there. There'll be some crew memberships thrown in there. There'll be some ExoCharts memberships thrown in there. So go onto the website, get yourself an entry into the raffle, get yourself a discount code, do all of those kind of things, whatever it is that you're going to win. You are guaranteed to win something. Everybody wins a prize. So if you haven't already gone onto the website and spun the wheel, you are guaranteed to win a prize. And yeah, do it. Just do it. If you're not seeing the wheel on there, just disable ad block briefly, because it is a pop-up that comes up on top of the site. Okay, this was nice. Look at that. Nice squeeze from the lows. You came into VWAP, coming back into the daily open. I need to go and just check out my Atom short. I'm going to hold this. So I am short on Atom. And this is the reason why. Okay, confluence up here. 1-to-1 weekly level, top of the channel. Okay. But we'll see what the rest of the market does for now. I'm holding this for now. I'm still fine on this short. I'm still in profit on this short. Because it was up here that I took it. No, the raffle's for anyone that enters. So if you win a raffle entry, you're entered into the raffle. Yeah, we'll announce the list of everyone who has won a raffle ticket, probably tomorrow or Monday, and that will be who it is. But yeah, it would be helpful if you're watching the stream in that instance. Cool. I think I'm going to wrap things up in a second. I know we haven't done any like altcoin analysis or anything like that today. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. Just because I'd quite like to trade this session as well. Do I want to? I don't know. I've got the trade that I wanted to, so I've already done that. I'd like to short it if we take the highs. I'd love to see it come and take the highs now. And then I can look for another short again. But yeah, I'm going to wrap things up. I'm going to... Harry, I've just explained. All I'm doing now, okay, because I do think we're losing momentum here. It's just a very, very simple process. Look, the longs are a little bit more maybe tricky to get into. But... Take out highs. I'm going to take a short because I'm very confident that if we do take out highs, we're going to come back into daily open. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And I do think we're making our way up to 21,600, which is why I'm not looking for shorts internally. But if we come and take highs, I'm just going to keep shorting them. I'm going to keep shorting every high until one of them sticks and you drop back down to 20k, which at some point I think we're going to do. So, yeah. So that's that. That like literally is as simple as that at the moment for myself. Martin, I'm not going to show any lower time frame analysis on Atom because it's not it isn't done on the low time frames. Okay. What's this? That's algo. That's the wrong thing. Yeah, I'm looking at this on like the 4-hour chart basically. So you've come up to here. There's no low time frame analysis I can do on this, because it's just following what the rest of the market's doing. All right, thanks everybody. I am going to finish and go have a little bit of a break. So thank you guys. I will see you on the next stream. So I will stream tomorrow, probably. We have Asia Trading Room tonight. So Randall is, as always, taking Asia Trading Room. I think Sweeping Hawk will be joining again as normal. And anyone else who's there in the crew. We do have Asia Trading Room tonight. If you would like to join the crew and get another trading room today, more live trading, more discussion, more analysis, more alpha, more winning, more making money, more everything good that is there, more learning, more education, more fun, then join the crew, take part in the Asia Trading Room. I'll be asleep, but we have very capable hands taking care of it. And I need to shut up and stop talking and give my voice a rest. So thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you all very soon. Cheers. Bye, bye, bye.